This is Mondovì in northern Italy, surrounded by the drama of the Alps. The mountains protect the area from extreme weather. It's a perfect place to fly hot air balloons. You can get airborne all year round and all day in winter. So where better for Europe's first disabled pilot to get his wings? With the sun just up, we arrived on the outskirts of town. Balloon pilot and instructor Brian Jones has made the long journey from Somerset.
Thanks, Giovanni.
With the help of local Italian balloonists, he'll be training pilot Tim Ellison. Wind direction this morning is crucial. A trainee needs a minimum of 16 hours flying in order to qualify, so they need to get airborne.
Conditions are really nice, actually. Hardly any wind at all, and from a training point of view, it's great.
Tim's a fast learner and is already picking up the basics.
So we turn the bottle on to the side you're going to, like initially. Once it's on, you just have a listen.
He's Brian's first ever disabled student.
This is a new experience and completely different to any type of flying I've done before. Burning.
Brian was born in Bristol and has flown balloons for decades. He's best known, though, for his record-breaking non-stop round-the-world flight in the Breitling Orbiter 3. He and co-pilot Bertrand Piccard made headlines everywhere. Now an instructor and examiner, it was Brian's idea to get disabled pilots into the sport.
There's no reason why disabled people shouldn't be able to fly balloons. They fly aeroplanes and all kinds of other things. And so I thought, well, why aren't there more people? And then I thought, well, that's a nice project.
The first hurdle was creating the right accessible equipment. A traditional wicker basket can fly disabled passengers, but pilots need to reach all the controls and be able to see where they're going. This double chair is a specially adapted design. If Tim's to be a pilot, though, it's essential that he can inflate the balloon on his own. It's a tricky manoeuvre, but he's got it. They're almost ready to go.
It's all about burner control this morning. The aim is to take off and stay really low, then we'll climb up, we'll do some practice emergencies, and then we'll do some practice approaches. And I would think that's probably enough for one day.
It's a fairly reasonable day in terms of the weather, and I think we'll have a good morning's fly.
Conditions today may not have looked that great. It's overcast and it's pretty cold, but it's okay for balloon flying. The winds are light, and that's the main thing. It's given Tim and Brian the chance to cram in the hours they need. Now, Tim may look relaxed in the air, but it was a serious flying accident in 1992 when he was an RAF pilot that put him in a wheelchair.
I was doing something I'd done thousands of times before. I was bringing a Harrier into land vertically. You stabilise and hover over a concrete pad at about 120 to 150 feet, and at that point, just as I stabilised, the engine failed catastrophically. It exploded. And with no thrust, you just drop like a brick. Anything that was perpendicular to the ground got broken, so my lower legs and ankles and my spine primarily. And also the impact was so hard, it broke most of my ribs and burst both of my lungs. At the time in my hospital bed, it seemed just a minor thing that I wasn't going to walk again. To me, I was just happy to be alive and still have the things that were precious to me.
Doctors said he'd never fly again, but 2 years later he was airborne and has never looked back. For Tim and all disabled pilots, the biggest danger is landing. As well as the usual hazards, he has to avoid tipping over and potentially getting trapped. A good ground crew has to be on hand. Another safe landing. They made it down in one piece. Just hopping the balloon to the corner of the field so Tim can get out.
It was great. It was really good. There's lots of different wind conditions, which were, it's not very fast, so it's not incredibly challenging, but it just makes you think a bit.
Great flight this morning. It was a bit cold up there actually, but Tim is extraordinary. I've never had a student who got it quite as quickly as Tim has got it.
It's not all flying though. With 5 exams to pass, there's also classroom time. Airman Tim breezes through though. But news of his challenge has got around.
Hello, Tim.
Hi, Stefano.
Very welcome.
Thanks.
The whole town's excited, and the mayor of Mondovì came to give Tim his personal backing.
Tim is something very special. He's someone that obviously has managed to cope and go over his disability, and we want to show that you can still have a full life and also practicing what you really love. So we are absolutely so happy to host him here and to have the first European to become an air balloon pilot as a disabled.
Back out on the launch field, it's a crucial day.
Tim's only got about an hour or so of flying left to do before he gets the chance to go solo. Very important. Luckily for him, conditions today are great.
Once you're in the chair, sitting next to an able-bodied person, you're both exactly equal. That gives you a great feeling of freedom, and you don't get that freedom every day when you're on the ground. Airborne, it just gives you a fantastic sense of achievement.
With everything looking good, it's the last big challenge. Tim is just 1 flight away from his licence, but this time he's on his own.
Okay, Tim, so that's your flight check done. Well done, it was brilliant.
Thank you.
I'm really pleased, thank you. I have absolutely no problem sending you solo, okay?
Okay, thanks.
You need to fly for 30 minutes, okay? You happy?
Great.
He's done it, back on terra firma, safe, sound and successful.
Thank you. Well done. Made it. It was really good. Beautiful day, beautiful flight. I really enjoyed it.
It's a very special moment for any pilot to do their first solo, and Tim did perfectly.
How do you feel about him now?
I'm really proud of him, of course. I mean, my first disabled student, who wouldn't be? And the first qualified disabled balloon pilot in Europe. And in the tradition of the great balloon flights, it's all finished with a glass of champagne.
Ready? Hang on. Cheers, Tim.
Cheers, Tim. Well done.
Cheers, Tim.
Congratulations.